6-1, the Edmonton Oilers defeat the Dallas Stars in game number 3, taking the lead in this Western Conference final in fine form on this lovely Sunday afternoon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream Postgame Show. Live on location at the Canadian Ice House in Ice District. Moss Pit clearing out, very jubilant. People here super happy. What a lovely, lovely afternoon in oil country. Tom Gazzola with you. Hernan, Salas, and Joaquin Gage back at EST Global HQ. Reid, Wilkins will work the rooms post-game, and then will join us, and we want to hear from you. 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well as the Oilers with a dominant victory this afternoon at Rogers Place. So much to discuss. Stu Skinner gets a win without doing it with a shutout for the first time. I said to Joaquin, will he buck this trend? Yeah, it was inevitable, and he did it tonight. Played very, very good. As the Oilers, they did get outshot 37-24. He had 36 saves. He had some pretty nice ones. Yes, he did get help from the guys in front of him. One part of the game helping the other part of the game. The goaltending getting some help from the forwards, and the defense and the forwards getting some saves from the goaltender. It's nice when they work in cohesion with one another. It generally results in victory. Oh, look who it is. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Cass. Are you hopping on? Mandy wants to hop on. Matt Cassian in us. No, you guys go have fun. Okay, he'll come on and say hi. Cass is down here. They're all oilered up. So that's lovely. Hernan, Salas, Joaquin Gage, let's get you guys on here as I rattle off the liner. GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Join the conversation. Hit us up on the text line, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. Boys, today's victory, I should say. Joaquin, we'll start with you. In for Cass. What impressed you the most about the Oilers?
What can you say, Tom? It was a complete effort. Little lapse in the second period. Maybe lapse is the wrong term. Probably more just Dallas pushed a little bit.
Yeah.
But Stu Skinner with an excellent second period, making a lot of key saves, keeping the game tight, and allowing the Edmonton Oilers to blow the doors off in the third period and keep that one goal lead, right? So and overall, another complete game with the Edmonton Oilers. And like we mentioned before the game, you wanted to put in that seed of doubt late. And that's exactly what you saw. You saw guys' heads looking to the stars. Duchesne had a horrendous game, I thought, defensively for a veteran guy. You saw Heiskanen, Harley, out of character moves from them. The cracks are showing in the Dallas Stars. And even, DeBoer looked like at one point his head was going to pop off. He seems like a guy looking for answers too. So chalk it up to a 1 o'clock afternoon game as in years past, like the Edmonton Oilers, but they came to play and they got it done. They were by far the superior team tonight, or this afternoon. Sorry. It was another clinical performance by the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, I like that line. Clinical. Hernan, what stood out to you from Edmonton's 6-1 win?
Yeah, the Oilers get a break, that kind of where they get their first goal, but kudos to them. Good teams find ways to take advantage of that, and they didn't stop. Again, man, Tom, I've been saying this since they beat LA. It's when the Oilers are on, there's no one that can match them. Florida is probably the only team. This is unreal. Gage and I were talking late in that third period. We're like Winnipeg must be sitting there being like, where the hell was this Dallas? Seriously, for me, Dallas, I know they pushed back in the second period, Tom, and they got some good looks, and Skinner stood tall, and the team played well and was able to withstand that pressure. But throughout this series so far, 3 games in, Oilers 5-on-5 have been outstanding. I don't like the body language I'm seeing from Dallas. I think Dallas's body language has been really bad. They almost look defeated. I didn't like Thomas Harley on one. He was getting all scrummed up, and he just skated away, Tom. And it's such a bad sign. It seems like they want no part of the physicality. 5-on-5, this team did. And listen, Stuart Skinner's all playing Ottinger, and the only way I can see this Dallas team winning is if Ottinger stands on his head. Seriously, that's the only way. I can't see it any other way. Full marks to the Oilers. They were fantastic tonight. Oh, this
all right.
Sorry.
Yes. No. I've said it too. We got a bonus here. Matt Cassian is on location with his lovely wife, Mandy, at the Canadian Ice House. I'll go through the scoring summary, and then we'll get some thoughts from Cass. There he is. The big man's here. Hi, Cass. How are you?
Hey, buddy. I'm good.
Good to see you.
That was a fun one.
That was a fun one. You got to go as a fan today.
I was a fan today.
I saw Mandy waving the towel in your face. I thought that was pretty funny. That was hilarious. And
she literally hit me in the eye, and it hurt.
You'll be okay. You're a big tough guy. You're a big tough guy. Here's the scoring summary from tonight's game. Or today's, Evan Bouchard opened things up, his 6th of the postseason at 14:02 from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who battled today, and Brett Kulak. Connor McDavid would make it 2-0 at 14:38. His 4th of the postseason on a nice feed from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. That was a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 actually. Zach Hyman, the secondary assist, 2-0 Oil after 1 in the second period. Jason Robertson would get the Stars to within 1 at 15:35 from Liam Bichel and Mikko Rantanen. I didn't love that goal, Cass, but that was a moment in the game where Joaquin was alluding to, where there was a bit of a push from the Dallas Stars, but Connor McDavid responded with 18.8 seconds left on the clock to make it 3-1, his 5th of the postseason, 2nd of the afternoon from Bouchard. In the third, all Oilers. Zach Hyman gets sprung by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He goes high blocker on Jake Ottinger to make it 4-1 at 3:25. And I like how they kept pushing, and they extended the lead even further at 12:06. Hyman's 2nd of the game, 5th of the postseason from Evander Kane. Really nice play by Kane with the sauce over to Hyman. He chips it over the shoulder of Ottinger. And then John Klingberg, for good measure, on the power play at 17:40. Rister beating Ottinger, his 1st of the playoffs from Draisaitl. Draisaitl's got 15 assists this postseason. Evander Kane, 2nd helper of the day, 5th assist of the postseason. Shots on goal ends up being 35-24, so they took a couple away from the Dallas Stars. They had them at 37 initially. Face-offs, 52.4% to 47.6. Oilers power play 1 for 3. PK 2 for 2. They win the special teams battle, Cass. We know how important that is. And then hits 47-30 in favor of Edmonton. Block shots 21-17 in favor of Edmonton. Giveaways 14 for the Oil, 11 for the Stars, and officially 5 takeaways for Dallas to Edmonton's 2. The big numbers that matter, 6 for Edmonton, 1 for Dallas, and the Oilers have a 2-1 series lead. As we welcome in Matt Cassian, our game analyst, along with our other game analyst, Joaquin Gage, as well as Hernan Salas. Cass, you were there in the building. Give us your thoughts on what we saw from Edmonton today.
Yeah, well, it's first time in a while I sat pretty close. We were pretty low today. Yeah, great seats today. And you're always like, it's an easy game from the press box in some ways.
Yeah,
and you always see how much faster it is when you're up close. And you're like, oh yeah, this is really fast. But what I would say for the Edmonton Oilers is the only time they got into trouble tonight, they put themselves in those situations with turnovers, maybe mess around with the puck a little bit too much. And Dallas did make that big push in the second. Edmonton gives up 1, but you get a big push back from McDavid and your top-end guys to retake that 2-goal lead, and then you just don't look back.
Yeah.
At ice level, just like from in the press box, Tom, if Edmonton is playing and playing and executing how they are capable of, Dallas cannot play with them 5-on-5. And Edmonton will win this series.
Gager get in here, Hernan as well, obviously, but Gager made a comment, and so too did Manso, about I think it was Joaquin that said something about Pete DeBoer, and Hernan say it just seemed, clinical was one word, and then Pete DeBoer and his body language was another, and Thomas Harley, Hernan was talking about just skating away from stuff. I don't even want to suggest this, but how much in the heads of the Stars do you think the Oilers are now?
I think after that second period, that's when it started to get to them.
Okay.
Right, I think they were fine through the first 2 games. Yes, they got outplayed, but they had the big win, the big comeback in game number 1. Yes, Edmonton beat them game number 2, and I think they pushed. Dallas really pushed in that second period. Now they get 1 goal. But that's not enough to get them back in it. And I think when Edmonton, and I love that word clinical, when they started to put on that clinic, I think the win was just out of the sails because it was kind of like that Florida game yesterday with Carolina, where all of a sudden it was like, Carolina pushed, they got back into that game, and then Florida was just like, goal, goal, and it just felt like Edmonton had the same kind of methodology to their game, where it was just, we're just going to continue to do this.
Yep.
You don't got nothing here. And I think you saw body language from some of the players sag. Even Jamie Benn a little bit with some of his, I think, play where I could see it in some of them. Marchment was really the only one trying to maybe stir it up a little bit. But DeBoer, I wasn't watching him so much, but Harley, you could see it. I don't want to say they're defeated and out of it yet, because they're not. Edmonton's only up one game, but man, I think you have the potential heading into your next home game here for the Edmonton Oilers to really put the boots to them. Because if you come out early and give them nothing, that could be all she wrote.
Gager, Natso, and you too, Cass, are we surprised that it has been this dominant, even though it is only a one-game series lead for the Oilers? They've won, 8 of 9 periods handily? Joaquin, what would you say?
I just think there's a physical component to how the Oilers are playing that make it difficult for other teams. Their tenacity without the puck to get it back is at the highest level I've seen since last season in the playoffs. Really, they're annoying to play against, and you can see it in the Dallas Stars the way they play. They're annoyed. They're frustrated. That's what you want to do as a team. It's and they're all doing it. It's that total buy-in from everyone, right? The management with the puck. They're like Cass, you said it. There were some times where the puck management got away from them a little bit, but negligible, right? They were able to be in good position and not cause any further trouble in their own zone when maybe a few errant passes, I guess, are trying to do a little bit too much. But other than that, it's when I watched the series prior and even the Winnipeg Dallas series and watching obviously the Oilers through the first 2 series, there was just a lot more body contact, lot more physicality. I felt that it was a little bit more run and gun with Dallas and the Winnipeg Jets. I didn't find it. I'm not saying it was a no hitter, but it's just at a different level that the Edmonton Oilers are playing at, and Dallas hasn't found that or within their game that they can match the physicality with the Edmonton Oilers, and I think that's showing up.
Yeah, well, it's the physicality and the structure, which is crazy because I didn't think I'd be saying that from the Edmonton Oilers after what we saw in the regular season. Right, like that. The physicality is there, but the physicality is also there, Gager, because of the structure in their game. As you said, they're not throwing pucks away. They're not trying to force things. They're making simple plays when there's nothing there. Again, they got into trouble a couple times because they tried to force stuff by their own blue line. Yep. But for the most part, negligible. They managed to contain after that, and they just went back to, we're going to chip pucks out when there's nothing there. We're going to make the 5-foot pass instead of trying to thread it over 3 sticks and through 2 bodies. And that type of game then lends itself towards being able to be physical because just guys aren't chasing. You're not out of position. You're where you're supposed to be, which means then you can apply that forechecking pressure and force pucks turnover, which is a great thing.
There's Darren from Arcadia saying hello as well. All right, I know it's date.
Yeah, gonna have to get back to this here.
Your thoughts going into game number 4 here?
You have a chance to be backbreaking here. I know it takes 4 games to win a series and not 3, but looking for that gentleman's sweep, as Dusty says.
Yes.
You're going to have a crowd that's into it. You're going to have a team that's into it. For the Edmonton Oilers, an opportunity to, especially early in that hockey game, assert yourself. Because it's if you win that first period and win it handily and end up a goal or 2,
yep.
How can Dallas have any hope? How can they have any hope when they've won 1 period at that point, if that's what it gets to? So huge opportunity. This is every game in the playoffs. The next game's the biggest one, but a massive swing game. The difference between being up 3-1 and being 2-2 is huge. Mm-hmm. It's just a big opportunity for Edmonton to crush any and all hope.
Crush. I love that, Cass. I love that. Well, speaking of a gentleman, you two cuties, go have yourself a lovely date day, okay?
Thanks, buddy. We will.
Thanks for stopping by. There's Matt Cassian, our game analyst, helping out our other game analyst, Joaquin Gage, as well as us here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream. post-game show. Bye, Mandy. Have fun. Good to see you. All right. Text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. Oh, those two, they're lovely. As I get back into position, it is the breakdown brought to you by Southport Chev. Southport Chev, go see Daniel and his team in the fort, and they'll give you $1,000 extra credit on your trade-in. Drive a little, save a lot at Southport Chev. See dealer for details at www.southportchev.com. All right, let's talk about the goaltending. I kind of, if you've watched and listened to the post-game show the other day, it was obviously a huge issue that we discussed where people were getting very frustrated, even though the team that they cheer for, their goalie, got a shutout. Today, he did not get a shutout. He did face a lot of rubber, Joaquin and Hernan, and he only let one by him. What can we say about Stu Skinner's performance tonight? I'll let you guys take the floor.
Very good. I mean, I'll pass it. I'll just say a few things and get our expert here. But
no, you go ahead, expert. You go first. You might. As well
You're very good at talking about this stuff.
He looks.
What are you laughing at?
You missed Hernan. He's very relaxed. Let's say
he's chilled out.
No, he's smoking a fake dart is what he's doing.
Is he the one that dropped that package of cigarettes outside of our station?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I saw them out there, yesterday. Anyway, continue.
I was cleaning. Sorry, side note. I was cleaning today and found the dart that he lost underneath the desk. So
that's so not like him.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
No, but just fantastic. He was solid. He looked calm, composed, and Kelly Rudy talked about it in the first intermission. Like, he just looks different now, guys. He's got so much confidence, and in that second period, I mean, he kept the Oilers out in front when they weren't at their best. And I agree with Cass. I thought a lot of it was the Oilers, doing that. They got a little sloppy at times, but that's what you need from your goaltender. We said it pregame. What he needs to do now is make that big save when it's only 1-0 or it's a 2-goal game, and he did exactly that. So how can you not be impressed with Stuart Skinner? So kudos to him once again. He's been excellent these last 2 games.
I like what Hernan said there, Gager. As I want to shuffle it off over to you on Skinner, obviously, but the big save, and I think there was a couple of them tonight. Were there a few that stood out to you where you're like, oh, he's okay, even after he let in that first goal, the only goal he allowed tonight? It
wasn't the saves were good, but it more than that, Tommy. It's the timing, the timing of the saves.
Gotcha.
Like, you're talking about big saves, and I think I don't want to say all the time, but it seemed like Stuart Skinner would allow maybe some goals that, for the phrase you'd like to have back. But then he would make these big, like, take goals away when the Oilers were down by 1 or down, like, keeping the game close. So the real sign of a star NHL caliber goaltender is the saves that they make in 0-0 games or games when their team is up by 1. And those are the big saves, and that's what you got from Stuart Skinner. He allowed his team to keep the lead. All right, they never got on even footing, and they were able to pull away at the end. And that was that saps the strength of the other team. They were big saves, but they were the timing of those saves in that second period to keep that 1-goal lead were monstrous, I think, with the fact that the Oilers were able to win this game, because it took the life out of the Dallas Stars.
A couple of texts here in regard to goaltending. Gordfather texting in says, Skinner really good again. Biggest save for me, that one late in the second on Duchesne. Glove save. That was a really nice one. Yeah. Drive to the net. Then Connor scores quickly after game-ending series headed to third. Not Jeffy. Greg, the sound guy, says Jake Ottinger or like Jake Rottinger. Am I right? And I know Greg, the sound guy, is chastising Jake Ottinger, but they lit him up again, right? Like, they're getting to him. Is there something more to be desired outside of the obvious, like, oh, I'd like a save or 2 more from Ottinger? Are we seeing anything, guys, Joaquin, in Jake Ottinger's game, or is it just the Oilers relentless and creating these opportunities that are 10 bell and their snipers and skill guys can bury them? What would you say about the guy at the other end of the rink right now in this series?
Disheartening for Jake Ottinger right now. He has to very difficult for a goaltender, because usually, you get your game to a point where teams have to do something special to get the puck past you. And I'm talking about deflections, screenshots, like something that you didn't have any chance on, right? But the Edmonton Oilers are picking right now. They're picking their spots and beating him clean. And that takes when you're beat clean as an NHL guy, when you've seen the shot in your good position, it takes a little bit of your goalie soul away from you, right? Because you're at that point, you think you can stop everything if you have a good look at it. And yeah, they picked him apart tonight, and which is I mean, gosh, guys, like we talk about how great Jake Ottinger is all this time. This is 2 series. I know it's not over yet, but Stuart Skinner is outplaying Jake Ottinger again. Long ways to go, but he's proving that he belong. If you're going to include Jake Ottinger amongst the elite of the NHL, you have to add Stuart Skinner's name.
Yeah, they're going to that. It was brought up after game 2. They were going blocker a lot, and you saw that again. Like, I think the first 3-4 shots, guys, were blocker side. They're onto something with them. And let's be honest, though, like, just great plays by the Oilers, too. Like, the sauce pass by Kane to Hyman. A lot of goalies are not going to stop that, right, guys? And, yeah, the Klimberg you probably want back, and there's a few others. But you're right, Joaquin. Jake Ottinger is kind of slated as this top echelon goalie, and we have yet to see it in the playoffs. Like, yeah, he was really good against Winnipeg, and I think a lot of Jets fans would allude to that. But right now, man, like, he has not been good. And just flipping it, I think we got to give praise. I'm seeing it a lot on the nasty chats going super quick. But Nugent-Hopkins was fantastic tonight, guys. And a guy that takes a lot of heat as well. Like, he was all around it.
He was ragdolled a couple of times, man. Like, and he just got up. I know that one play, was it Bischel that caught him at the... Bischel had a couple today, and we'll talk about the Connor Brown thing in a little bit as well. But Nugent-Hopkins, yeah, he's like the Energizer Bunny. He took a licking, but he kept on ticking, right? Like, good for him, and he's holding court with the media as well. That's a gutsy performance, is it not?
Yeah. Definitely. Probably Nugent's best game of the playoffs so far.
Oh, yeah. He was
easily. He was all over it.
Hyman, excellent. Connor finally shooting.
Even though he had a couple of chances where he was too cute, and then he finally shot it. And you're like, oh, yeah, see, he is a sniper. He did score 60 in this league a couple of years ago. My goodness.
And shout out to Troy Stecher. I thought he was really good. There was one play there, Joaquin, where it was a 2-on-2. Rantanen comes in through the blue line, and you were yelling, Gage. You're like, go at him. And then Stecher saves it, right? Because Nurse kind of just stayed back and didn't really want to go to him. And it was a 2-on-2, but I thought Troy Stecher had an excellent game as well. Tommy, I do have Nuge locked and loaded whenever you're ready.
Well, I was going to say that's a perfect segue for him. Battered and bruised, but undeterred. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, let's hear from the Nuge.
For you guys again, would you like to maybe start with Stuart Skinner, especially in that second period?
Yeah, I thought we had a bit of a dip, they had a bit of a push in the second. You know it's going to happen. He stepped up big time for us, made some big saves, and you need your attendees, your goalies to do that, and he definitely stepped up for us. I thought it was a pretty good start, simple, and we capitalized it near the end of the first, but just kept rolling from there.
5 points for you now in the last 2 games. Starting to feel a bit offensively.
I think we're all just kind of doing our thing and trying to chip in where we can, and our line got a couple tonight, which is obviously it's nice to see it go in and capitalize when you get your chance.
Ryan, how big was that McDavid goal to end that second period?
Yeah, huge. Most of the time it's about when you score, not how many, and it was a big moment. I think 18 seconds left or something like that. So obviously, like I said, they're pushing, and to put one in right before the third is big time for us.
How were you after you crashed into the boards?
Yeah, that was okay. Obviously going in quick there, but lost my breath for a sec. But yeah, all good.
Ryan, when things were struggling with Stu, I guess, what you guys as a team, how do you kind of react to that? You just let him work his way out of it, or can you help out in any way, or how do you kind of?
I think, the way we play defensively impacts the goaltending so much. We obviously need to be sharp in front of him, give him every chance to make the easy saves, and then sometimes he needs to step up and make the big ones, and he's been doing that. So it's definitely it's got to go both ways.
You get a sense when he's locked in like this?
Yeah. I mean, for sure. You can see it. He's competitive. He wants to perform for us, and we see him compete every day.
There was a time when this team, I'm not saying you were dependent on the power play, but you sure were known for winning games with it. This whole playoff run's been a 5-on-5 thing here. Does it feel good to win this way? Is it a good way to win?
Yeah, I mean, of course, you want your game to be going 5-on-5 and not having to rely on the power play, but at the same time, we want to be able to step up and score timely goals on the PP, and I know it's coming. We just got to stick with it.
Ryan, we all know how much Connor McDavid drives the offense, but when he's scoring goals like he did tonight, how does that change the dynamic for the team?
Well, we know he's a good goal scorer. I mean, he scores a lot of goals at big moments for us all the time, and I mean, he's so good at creating space for other guys that you see him dish it off a lot, but we know when the time's right, he's going to put them in.
Ryan, the penalty kill was the story of Game 1, but it's been pretty great these last 2 games. What has kind of come together in the series on the PK?
I mean, it's a lot of the same thing. It's sticking with it, staying confident. Obviously, they stung us there, cost us the first game. We wanted to respond, and I think we've done a good job since.
Zach Hyman up over 106 hits, I think now. He's 2 goals tonight. You just really see him increase his physical play. How does that impact your team?
I mean, it's tough for the other team, that's for sure. He's putting a lot of pressure on them. He's not letting up at any moment. So they know he's coming. It creates a lot of space, and then creating space for himself and for his line mates. So he's a big guy. He knows he can lay his body around. So it's great to see.
All right, there is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins speaking to the media following his team's 6-1 victory in game number 3. The Nuge putting up some points. He's having a good postseason. 3 assists today, +3, 16-21 time on ice. Went to the boards hard, was winded. Obviously, had a couple of shots. He's had some goals this postseason. And then he also, 4 shots, I should say, added in a hit and had 3 giveaways and was 28.6% on the dot. But he did say a couple of things there, guys, that I thought were noteworthy. He said it's when you score, not how many. In some situations, obviously, he was talking about the goal by Connor McDavid with 18.8 seconds left. Dagger, in my opinion. And then, funny, he acknowledges when the team plays good in front of the goalie. Look at that, the goalie plays good. But he's been a playoff warrior this postseason. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I we talked about it before. I think down the stretch, everyone here at EST we're saying like it can't be a switch that you just flick from game 82 to 83, right? Mm-hmm. But I think maybe the first few games, I guess in the late wasn't their best, but maybe it's not a switch, but it's definitely a dimmer that the Oilers were able to turn up pretty quick to get their game at this playoff level, and just maybe a recency bias of just knowing what they went through over the last few years, the battles that they've been through, that scar tissue, that playoff scar tissue, the right. Experience that they're able to extract from it has put this team, the maturity of this team, in a mindset that, okay, this is the time of year that we start playing a certain way throughout our whole lineup. And the Nuge, that was probably, I mean, guys, I haven't seen him play that well, I don't think.
It's been a while.
All year. Yeah. Easily, that was his finest work all year. If he can maintain this level, it just adds such another useful tool for Coach Knobloch to implement in games, right? And it makes other coaches the matchups very difficult when a guy's playing at that level.
But guys, is it a little unfair to I'm sorry, but of the 4 teams left, Edmonton, Florida are just on another level. They seem like they are. Again, the comment, when we were talking about the Winnipeg fans probably saying, where the hell was this Dallas team when they played them? And Carolina, everybody was they're so good defensively, and they're rolling and they got all these great analytics and all that. But like, let's be honest, guys. Like in these two series, one team's been dominant. Like it's not even close. Like Florida, Edmonton are on another level. That's my opinion. I don't know if everyone shares that, but I don't think Dallas has been that good, guys.
I don't disagree, but sorry, Gage, I don't disagree, but I'll just say this to lead into what you're going to follow up with. I think Edmonton's just forced Dallas into being the weaker of the two teams.
Yeah.
Gager?
There's subtle things like right away in the first period. So just how focused a team is and how they kind of go with the flow during a game. Like Hernan and I were kind of laughing at the beginning when I believe it was Kulak shot the puck straight out. And at full speed, very difficult for a ref to pick that up, right?
Yes.
Oilers catch
that
a break.
been a penalty.
And I think Nanso goes, wouldn't it be funny if they scored right here? And I go, yeah. And lo and behold, Boosh bombs it in, and we start dying laughing, right? But then what happens is the Connor comes back, scores another one, so it's 2-0, and they've got some momentum. And you could see DeBoer after the call, like he was visibly just, a little perturbed about that whole sequence. But
rightly
then the hockey gods show their colors, and they get a break. They get that high sticking break on Rantanen to get back in the game. The Oilers don't panic on a missed call and go about their business like business as usual. That was the right then. Right after that sequence, I had to jump on the Nanso train and think, yeah, they're not losing tonight. They're just too focused and lasered in on this game.
Well said, Joaquin. Well said. Sean Z adding this says Stu finally gets his flowers from me. Signed Sean Z. Well, let's hear from Stu Skinner, allowing 1 goal on 35 shots tonight.
Yeah, they brought a ton of speed. They got a lot of ozone time, got some good chances. At that point, we're just trying to keep things at 0, trying to keep things at bay. We knew that was going to happen. They were down 2-0, I believe, at that point, so you knew that they were going to come out hard and give them everything that they had. They definitely did that. They were definitely the better team in the second period, and we knew that going into the third. So we kind of just had to reset, and we battled it out.
Is there a point you feel dialed in? Like, is there a point you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to
Yeah, that's a great question. It's ebbs and flows. You can feel it right away. Sometimes you don't feel it right away. I wish I felt it all the time. But yeah, that's just something that kind of comes with it. I think for myself, it's coming out of last game too. I felt really good. So just trying my best to keep that going.
Is there a change in preparation for a game that starts so early, especially in the playoffs? You haven't really done that.
Oh yeah. I actually don't remember the last time we had an early game like this in the regular season either. So it was definitely different. It was a quick turnaround too. No time to practice, obviously, or get the feet on the ice. So definitely different for everybody. And that's the thing, though, is that everybody's in the same situation.
You've been seeing that the Stars were the best team in the second period. How big was the goal of Connor McDavid to change the rhythm?
Massive, yeah. So crucial. They had all the momentum. Even halfway through the first, I think they started kind of getting that momentum. So that definitely kind of killed their momentum for the last couple of minutes, and then we just kind of run into the third and trying to grab that and keep going.
You have the unique view of Connor when he's going, right? When he gets the puck, you have the best seat in the house. What did you think of the way he was going tonight?
Yeah, he was fantastic. He's the way that he plays in all three ends of the ice, I think, has been very impressive through the whole playoffs. To be honest, even for tonight, I'm not really too curious what the guys in front of me are doing. I just know, just as
especially in the D zone, how much we're grinding. So that's kind of, as a goalie, that's what I'm really looking at.
Did you say 3 ends?
Yeah, there's a neutral zone.
3 ends?
Yeah, no, sorry, yeah, ends. My bad. You got me. You got me.
Stuart, you never want to lose the net, obviously, as an NHL starter, but that moment away allowed for a bit of a reset for you, because obviously since you've come back, it looks like you're pretty confident.
Yeah, I felt confident before. Yeah, I mean, that's the life of being a goaltender. I think in the case, Pix was fantastic coming in, obviously. Gave me a chance to work on some things, clear the head a little bit. But yeah, no, I've been feeling confident the whole time. It's just, even when I came back, first game we lost, letting 4, letting 5 against Dallas. Hasn't all been perfect.
Guys would say this.
All right, that was Stu Skinner following his team's victory. Let's see what the game sheet says if they change it. Oh, now he's got 36 shots against him, 35 saves on night. They kept switching it. As Reid Wilkins joins us here at the Canadian Ice House. Tom Gazzola and Reid Wilkins live on location at Ice House. Joaquin, Gage, and Hernan Salas back at EST Global HQ. Keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. Conroe, Texas, texting in says, planning a Texas to Alberta road trip to visit the Nasties. Skinner is a different man, and Connor is shooting the puck. Hyman and Nuge quietly having Conn Smythe-type playoffs. Sadly, they will finish second to Connor. That's from Conroe, Texas. Troll texting us. Says, how about that pass from Kane to Hyman? Sure is nice to have a healthy Evander. He's been very effective, and offensively as well as physically for sure. V-Power texting in says, high blocker, baby. Props to Dustin Schwartz with the pre-scout there. Keep those coming in as we go to Reid's Read, brought to you as always by our friends over at Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. Fallen golfers, Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club is open to the public and memberships are still available. Join the ranks today and experience top-tier golf with a proud military tradition. For more info, visit egmgolf.com to enlist. Reid, you were just in the room. You were a part of the press conference that Chris Knobloch just held. What were some of your takeaways, and what did you glean from the responses you heard from the guys in the room, and then Chris Knobloch tonight?
I was walking over when Knobloch was on, so I'll have to catch that later.
How dare you?
I was so eager to be with you, Tom.
Oh, okay, that changes everything.
Well, look, a lot of questions about Stuart Skinner.
Yes.
As there should be. This was his best game of the playoffs. Given the stakes, this is probably his best game of the season. And, he was the vastly superior goaltender tonight, and especially in the second period, which was Dallas's best period of the series. They absolutely throttled the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers could not get the puck out. They could not make a pass. They were constantly under pressure. They had 3 minutes and 42 seconds of power play time and were garbage. Dallas owned the second period. And Skinner made, what did it end up with? 20 out of 21 saves, I believe.
Yes, he did.
So, that was the Oilers' best goaltending performance of the postseason. Shutouts aside, and a couple of very good games by Pickard aside, this was it.
Yeah.
Did the Dallas Stars get goalied, Tom? I hate that term.
I hate that term too, but I suppose the answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
From how we interpret the term goalied.
And how it gets very liberally too much thrown around.
Yeah.
So Skinner, massive story today. Excellent game. No, I did think the Oilers had a pretty good first period. So much happened in this game. I'll have to go back and watch it again. I thought they got a break on the Kulak puck over the glass.
Yes, they did, 100%.
But if you get a break, you better take advantage of it. They scored 2 goals in the next 46 seconds. After that penalty wasn't called. And then I guess, some things, Kapanen didn't high-stick Rantanen. Rantanen high-sticked himself.
That felt like hockey karma to me.
Yeah, and then for Bischel to not be called when he cross-checks Frederick into the net, those are very frustrating to me. That's when I criticize officials. 50-50 calls that are hard to see, calls that are close, I don't get hung up about. Mm-hmm. Those really frustrate me because that's a dangerous play. But that aside, the Oilers survived the second period. And Tom, you gotta. I always try to look at everything that happened on the play because we're speaking to mostly Oilers fans who want to hear what the Oilers did on a play. But let's consider Connor McDavid's goal that made it 3-1 with
I called that the dagger.
18.8 seconds left in the second period. Dallas has dominated that period. Now, yes, could have they scored more? Sure, but they're still in a situation where they have won that period and would have had all the momentum going to the third period down 1 and completely carrying the game.
Yes.
And the puck goes back to Bouchard. One player was Rantanen, and I'll have to go back and watch who the other one was. 2 Dallas Stars go at Bouchard. Neither one gets the puck, and they both drift out into the neutral zone. And Connor McDavid walks in from the blue line,
uncontested,
sizes everything up, and decides he's going to go top corner and make it 3-1. You know, and as badly as the Oilers were outplayed, you rarely see them making those lack of commitment decisions. They're not perfect. I know you could go through the tape and find stuff.
Yes,
but even when they were getting throttled in the second period, they still were collapsing around the net. They still were battling. I mean, they were getting beaten to pucks.
Sure.
Like, to me, that was more it than them being just turning the puck over or being vastly out of position.
Right.
And even when you saw the Oilers getting outplayed, they still have everybody collapsing. They're still trying to take care of I think they were still trying to do the right things. They were just getting beat and couldn't get their feet under them. And then you have a play like that. Dallas, like we in that situation, the Dallas Star is going to be saying, okay, don't get scored. We're in our own end with 25 seconds left. Don't get scored on. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. We'll go to the third down 2-1 and fight from there. And you have Rantanen, one of their best players, and I'll have to go back and look who the other one is, floating out into the neutral zone. Two guys go to one player. Neither guy gets the puck, and McDavid walks in and scores. Huge mistake by Dallas. Great shot by McDavid.
Dare I say that was something the Oilers were guilty of many times during the regular season this year. It's kind of funny and I suppose nice to see the opposite happening and the Oilers take advantage of that scenario. All right, Reid Wilkins with us here at the Canadian Ice House. Joaquin, Gage, and Hernan Salas back at EST Global HQ. Let's bring Gage back in here if we could, Hernan, if that's possible. Even though that second period, and Stu talked about it too, Stu Skinner said they were definitely the better team in the second period. I don't disagree. Joaquin, I wasn't overly concerned about the Oilers, even though they weren't the better team in the second period for the majority of it.
No, there wasn't. It didn't seem like they were swimming much. The Oilers looked comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense in that period.
Do you like that? I get that.
Yeah.
And so, and I think that we talk about everything on the bench, how Knobloch acts, like it's just their demeanor, right? That's just the way they are right now, and the way that they're playing. It's an extreme level of confidence that you have with your team that even if things do go bad, you do have the ability to right the ship, so to speak. Whereas when you look at the Dallas Stars game, and Reid, you had just mentioned it, that Connor McDavid goal with two guys kind of cheating on the offensive side of the puck, that deflated them. You saw the heads hanging going down the hallway at the end of the second period. Those goals are very demoralizing too for a team, especially when you have a period where you figure you're the better team on the ice. So, but what good teams do are they're able to compartmentalize that and come out the same way or better, and it really seemed like the wind got taken out of the Dallas Stars' sails at the start of the third, because the Oilers just reasserted themselves as the better team that period.
Okay, let's talk about this. I haven't seen an update on Connor Brown yet. He did not finish the game, you guys. We talked about Liam Bichel he took Ryan Nugent-Hopkins into the end wall. Nugent-Hopkins was winded, ended up being okay, had himself a very good game. The hit on Connor Brown, or no, that was Petrovic that hit him, right?
Petrovic hit him, yeah.
It was Petrovic, pardon me. But Bichel had a couple of moments there. It was Frederick that I was thinking of that Bichel was involved with. Petch goes and he hits Connor Brown late. No call on that one. I haven't seen an update yet on Connor Brown. He was already nicked up going into that, missed call. How worrisome is it? Your thoughts first, Joaquin.
A little worrisome because of the severity of the hit. It was Look, I don't think it was an intentional like headhunting hit, but the point of contact was the chin of Connor Brown on that, and a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it was 2 Mississippis before that hit, and just kind of a blind side with the ref standing there too. So,
Yes.
it is worrisome if he doesn't come back. Hernan and I were speculating it might have just been the spotter, but obviously there's something a little bit more to Connor Brown, which is unfortunate. Hopefully that it's not too severe, and he can get back into the lineup. But yeah, I'm with you, Reid. Like I didn't like the officiating in the third period. It took until the last minute to finally get things under wraps with the call on Harley, with the rub out of Hyman. Like there was a lot of stuff I thought from the Dallas Stars, just because at that point of the game, that's what happens, right? It starts to get a little chippy. But I thought they could have done a little bit better, lack of a better term, game management, just to cool the heads of both teams so it didn't get out of hand.
All right, you don't have an update, but you have something to pass along.
Well,
on Brown.
there was nothing on Brown.
Right.
So maybe we get something tomorrow.
There you go. So
yeah, he's obviously. Well, he's not.
And he was dealing
skates.
with something, right, guys?
Exactly. Yeah, good point by Hernan there. All right, let's get to a few more texts. Keep those coming in. 780-218-9999. Beaumont Dusty says, official scoring change. The Oilers goal at 3:25 of the third. Now reads Hyman from Nugent-Hopkins. And I think I saw they still had Kane on there.
That's what it always was.
Well, yeah, you got the game sheet here, so thank you
That's
for the
all
update.
I had. The Dallas goal is now Robertson's.
Yeah, so you must have got a stick on it.
Yeah.
I thought it was
ticked him on the way in.
I don't want to nitpick, but what'd you think of the goal against Gage?
Great tip by Robertson. Nothing Stuart Skinner could do.
Good answer.
I mean, to me, that's just a product of giving up 21 shots in a period.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
they couldn't get it out of their zone.
They got one goal.
Yeah.
I mean, the nasty chat isn't even talking about it, right? They're
incredible.
talking more about Chief Andy's status than the goal that Stuart Skinner allowed. So obviously he played quite well.
Yeah, there we go.
I will say this: I was in the DeBoer availability, or the most of it.
Okay, and what did we get out of Pete DeBoer?
He seemed very encouraged. He seemed very much like we took some steps in the right direction, and we got to repeat this.
Is that lip service, or do you think it's legitimate?
I think, well, they'll always go back and look at mistakes. I think he means it, because I think he's going to look at 2-1 with 20 and a half minutes left in the game and outplaying the Oilers.
Okay,
and then they messed up, and McDavid made a good shot. It didn't seem like he was too worried about whether it ended 3-1, 4-1, 6-1, or 9-1, given what happened in the third period. He said the Oilers were opportunistic on their chances, which was true. He was asked about Ottinger. He said, we're not here without Ottinger, and we were in a situation where we were pushing for offense and gave up some pretty good chances against.
Okay.
And he kind of was saying we took a good step today, which I think they did, and he has to sell that to his team, that we finally dominated 20 minutes without the power play. I mean, the second period was outstanding by the Dallas Stars. I mean, they finally started moving their feet. They finally started putting the Oilers under a little bit of pressure. Dallas didn't spend a lot of time in the run. So he has to sell that. And that was a big period for Dallas, because quite frankly, coming into this game, it felt like the Oilers were leading the series one game to one. Right? Like,
Yeah.
And now they actually do have a 2-1 advantage. And DeBoer said this too. He's like, look, we got to win a game in Edmonton, and then we win our home games, we'll be fine. I mean, that's what he's got to sell to his team. I mean, it's
true.
only 2-1. I think, and I do think Edmonton is legitimately better than Dallas, but I still think Dallas is very, very good. So that's what he's got to sell. All right, sure. Last year we were up 2-1 and they won 3 in a row. Why can't we do the same thing?
So I was overzealous in saying they've won 8 of 9 periods. It's actually 7 of 9 in this series. Well, there's overtime as well.
There was no overtime in this series.
Me. I was thinking about the Golden Knights.
Well, the Oilers still tied. The great thing about the second period is the Oilers still tied it on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Right? So that was still good.
Pardon me. Yeah, I was thinking back to the Golden Knights series. What do you think of that, Pete DeBoer, Natso and Gager trying to sell. I think it's more selling hope. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I understand where people are saying that Reid included, that Dallas was the better team in the second period. I did not look at that period and go, I'm worried about the Edmonton Oilers. Like, the Oilers had 2 really bad power plays in that period, by the way.
Yeah.
They stunk on the power play.
I'm with you, Tom. Listen, kudos to Dallas in the second. Yes, they were the better team, but the Oilers were better for 40 minutes. So, but it was like, it's interesting because we were watching that second period and they were all over them, but there wasn't that sense of like dread, like, oh man, they're going to score 2. Like, it was just, I think, Gager, you just said it about 20 minutes ago. They looked comfortable being uncomfortable, and it's just a different feeling this year, guys. I don't know what it is, but yeah, DeBoer's the coach. He's going to obviously feed off that and give his team hope. And it's only 2-1, guys. Let's not forget that, right? They win the next game. It's the best out of 3, so they're not out of it, and they haven't played their best. Edmonton's been the better team in this series through the first 3 games. So, yeah, if they can build off that second period, but in a 6-1 game, guys, I don't know how much he can sell that to his team.
I was just going to say, even if Pete DeBoer is trying to sell hope, do you think his team, how much is his team buying it? Gager, if you're in that locker room, what are you thinking?
Well, if you're the Dallas Stars, you've played one really good period where you've dominated. You fed off specialty teams in another period where you've kind of taken it to the Edmonton Oilers. The rest has been tilted in the favor of the Oilers. But at this point, I think what you're seeing from Pete DeBoer is trying to find something positive for his team to latch on to, because he sees the body language too, right? He sees the way guys are coming to the bench. Duchesne coming off and sitting down and frustrated. Ben looking frustrated. Harley looking frustrated. Heiskanen talking to his partner. Well, he looked discombobulated on there. These are they're some of their go-to guys. And I think the fact that they lost one of their main key players in Rupe Hintz, right? That's you just don't replace a player like that. He just does so many good things on both sides of the puck. So kind of a little soul searching of finding a way to play 60 minutes the way that they were able to play 20 in the second period. That's what you have to do to your team. You have to install some positivity, not unlike a boxer telling him how great he is before a fight, right? And so by the time you get to the ice, you probably start believing that stuff.
Guys, Rupe Hintz not playing this game, was on the ice for 5 minutes in warm-up. Does he make it into game number 4? And how much of a hole has that left? Did you guys think it was super noticeable to the Stars that there was no Rupe Hintz? Reid, we'll start with you.
Well, he's a very good player. I mean, I don't know if I thought specifically. But, yeah, I mean, it gives the Oilers a little advantage if maybe getting a matchup, especially at home.
Mm-hmm.
DeBoer said he's day-to-day in his postgame. Sure. But, I mean, like in the playoffs, there could like literally be a funeral for a player, and the coach would still be like, yeah, he's day-to-day.
Okay. Didn't expect that one. Yeah, Nick Gager, did you notice anything in terms of Dallas's attack without Hintz?
Well, not too much. I didn't do a deep dive into the last series. I watched them for a little bit. He was dangerous at times against the Jets, but there was nothing really that was out of the ordinary in the games that Hintz has played so far. So no, I didn't. I guess I didn't notice the holes, but he hadn't given me any reason to be looking for them in the first place.
That's a fair point. Text comes in, says, I agree with Reid. Oilers won the second period, not in shots, but in the most important stat of the night, saves. Signed, unknown.
Oh, the unknown.
The unknown. Mac Lamec texting in, says, Skinner was so bad, hold for dramatic effect. That being bad for game 3. Let's go Oilers. I like that. That's a GCL diesel oil. Understood.
Yes, very good.
Yes, thank you. I listen to your program. Saskatoon Muncher texting in, says, first game I watched on the patio at my house. brought the TV out. Wind blows it over with 5 minutes left in the game. He's out of TV, but the Oilers with a huge win, baby. That sucks, no. Saskatoon Muncher. Oh,
he must
boy.
live on like the 22nd floor.
Oh.
This wind sucks, boys. Needs to go away.
Oh,
need a damper on this beautiful weather, on the victory today.
No way.
Yeah, so.
Oh, God. We're having a good time. Well, DeBoer can't respond like Brenda Moore did last night, says the Liquid Beaver. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I think Pete DeBoer is pretty level-headed and even-keeled in his responses post-game. He's been through this so many times.
Okay, boys, question for all three of you. If Connor Brown can't go, obvious, is Arvidsson in, or does Jeff Skinner get a look here?
Arvidsson.
Arvidsson for sure. I don't think Jeff Skinner is getting a sniff unless they go down 2 forwards.
Yeah, I would have to say Arvidsson. Nanso and I were batting around the idea. I don't think it's going to happen till, like I said in the pregame, that if you see Ekholm, it wouldn't be till the next round late at some point. But it does make you ponder about the question: if he is somewhat ready to go, do the Edmonton Oilers go to an 11-7 format, not unlike DeBoer did with Heiskanen coming back, just to make sure he was able to handle minutes? Does that make it a little bit easier to maybe see if he's okay, and then you still have the 6D? And I mean, I'm sure Connor and Leon won't shy away from playing a few extra minutes and double shifting on different lines, right? So I wonder if that's something that they could think about too.
I still feel like we're seeing some posturing from the Oilers, kind of bit of a fake out when it comes to Matthias Ekholm, but if I'm wrong by game 4, sure, whatever. But I don't think he's going to be ready to go for a little bit longer.
Well, the Oilers actually have a practice scheduled tomorrow.
That's incredible.
Now, it might change to an optional at half an hour before the practice. So I guess
they do that.
We'd see how he practices perhaps tomorrow.
I mean, if a team doctor is literally watching from the bench again, I don't think that's a good indicator.
No, probably not.
Yeah. All right. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Tom and Reid on location at the Canadian Ice House. Great vibe here. Absolutely tremendous. The bay windows are open. Yeah. People in their shorty pants, including Reid with the Daisy Dukes. Business on top. You look really good. Your legs are breathing, baby. And then we got Joaquin and Hernan back at ESD Global HQ. All right, before we go and take a look ahead to next game, this text says Gager is bang on. Great opportunity to play Ekholm, see where he's at. Again, that's from the unknown. I don't see why you risk it, to be honest, but some people are very eager to see him back and enticed by that possibility.
Look, I know how great Matthias Ekholm is, and he can make a huge
100%.
Difference, right? We've seen it since with his time with the Edmonton Oilers. But I don't know, guys, sometimes in dressing rooms and when things are going well, I'm sure the players wouldn't shy away from, wanting Matthias back in the lineup, but things are going quite well. We already saw the play of Stetron. I believe Coach Naba was raving about what he brings to the team, right?
Yeah.
And we haven't really had to discuss any deficiencies with the Edmonton Oilers D-corps in a long time. So I don't know. I'm a little bit hesitant in changing it up when things are going so well. It doesn't make any if it's working, you don't try and fix it, right? So you just allow. I think you allow Matthias Ekholm to get closer to 100% than try to play it whatever the percentage, 80, 85, or 90%.
You want to add to that or no?
No, that's cool.
Okay, I'm going to read this text. It's coming in from Grant in Claire's home. I think this is Grant's first text to us. Thank you, Grant. Appreciate it. Says, I have been an Oilers fan since 1980. I wore my Oilers hat throughout, even during the struggles after 2006. Shut down, see drill to watch Game 7 in 2006. It's about time 26-year-old Stuart Skinner gets some love from Oilers fans. Yes, he has been extremely hot and struggled mightily at times, but If it was not for his play in the second today, the Oilers lose this game. I've watched too many goalies and players get run out of Edmonton and go on to do well elsewhere. We as fans are educated, but sometimes I feel too demanding on developing players. For heck's sake, Skinner got Oilers to Game 7 of the final last year and let in 2 goals. Skinner haters need to put things in perspective and encourage him. Most goalies achieve their prime closer to 30 years of age. Grant from Claire's home. And thank you for that text, Grant. Welcome. We appreciate that very much. I do have a stat for you guys. With this win, Stu Skinner is now tied with Andy Moog for third on the Oilers' all-time playoff wins list behind Grant Fuhr at 74 and Bill Ranford at 25. Skinner's 3 shutouts this postseason already has him tied with Curtis Joseph for the most in a single year in franchise history, and his next shutout will tie Joseph for the most in career shutouts in Oilers playoff history. So, yeah, pretty impressive, and his numbers as well have been good. I know it is kind of people, especially after the other night, didn't want to give him his flowers, but the NHL posted this, and I reposted it. Stuart Skinner in his 4 wins this playoffs, .24 goals against average, .991 save percentage with 3 shutouts. Incredible, says the NHL. In his losses, his numbers are atrocious.
Yeah,
but
here's the thing. I guess I would just say this. This is winning time.
This is winning time.
This isn't what's his next contract going to be worth time. This isn't, well, they won, but if they keep playing this way, they're going to have a losing streak. This isn't 4 of the next 6 are on the road. This is matching up against the same team game after game. How Stuart Skinner played on January 10th is irrelevant. How he's going to play on November 25th of next season is irrelevant. And the same goes for everybody else. I mean, actually, if you think about it, there are several Oilers players playing much better than they did in the regular season. Brown for the second year in a row. Henrique, Janmark, even Arvidsson when he's played in terms of being a nuisance and a pest.
True.
So even Hyman.
Yeah.
So that's really what matters is right now. Enjoy today. They won, and then it's all about Game 4 on Tuesday. So that's a lot of the stuff or the stats from the regular season, quite frankly, is not relevant. I mean, if you got bonus points in the playoffs for your regular season stats, the Winnipeg Jets and Connor Hellebuyck would still be playing. You just got to beat that same team across from you 4 times in 12 to 14 days, depending on the scheduling of the series.
Winning time. I like
Winning
that.
time, baby.
I think Joaquin, I heard you said you like that.
I mean, it's funny. What would you rather have, a goalie with 15 wins in the Stanley Cup playoffs with a .925 save percentage, or a goalie with 16 wins and an .888 save percentage and a 4.2 goals against? What would you rather have?
Give me the guy with 16, please, because I know what comes with that.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. I think sometimes fans would rather have a goalie with a really high save percentage in the playoffs than wins. Like, let's because now, if I'm not mistaken, Skinner's 4-4. Correct? Is that what you just said,
That is
Tom?
correct.
So
Yes.
500 in the playoffs. All things are pointing towards more wins for Stuart Skinner. He's doing something that you're mentioning with some of the greats of all time. Please, come on. And I get it. You have to have the people in front of you to do it. But last time I checked, Grant Fuhr and Andy Moog had pretty good teams in front of them, too.
Yes, they did. They absolutely did. So Stu Skinner ties Andy Moog for third on the all-time Oilers goalies playoff win list at 24. One more to match Bill Ranford. And then he's got about 50 more to go. 49 more to go.
That's incredible. Fuhr won that many.
74 for Fuhr. Yeah, that tells you how good those damn teams in the 80s were. All right, Reid, are you going to stick around? Are you going to have a bite to eat? What are you going to do? Oh, Wheels and Francis are here. Oh, what's up, boys?
Hey, guys.
What's up? Good to see you. Yes. Or do you want to wind things down and have yourself
I'll do
a bite
it.
to eat?
Well, I'm going to go, but I can stay on air.
You're
as
ready to
long
go
or
dancing.
As little as you need.
Reid's ready to go dancing. Just your final thoughts going into Game 4.
Well, I think I do think, despite the final score, I do think Dallas is going to take some positives out of this game.
Okay.
I do think they're going to find ways to get energy, and their coach is going to show them the positive tape. But the Oilers took a pretty big punch, I guess, in the second period, and survived it. So now they're going to counteract to say, okay, what did Dallas do? How do we not allow that to happen? But I think the Oilers have a strong belief. And I think they'll draw on the positives, though, that when they had chances, they pounced.
Yeah.
And they're just going to say, if we keep, which they've done most of the postseason, and I think they'll say, we know we can do that. We just can't get hemmed in for an entire period like we did this afternoon.
As always, my friend, very well said. It is an honor and a pleasure to have you on location with me here.
Yes, I appreciate you a lot, Gager, Hernan. Love you guys as well.
This guy, I tell you what, that's Reid's Reid, brought to you by Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf and Curling Club. Good stuff from Reid Wilkins. Catch him tomorrow with Jay Milne right here on EST from 3 to 6. Jay's back tomorrow, right? I think, yeah, he is. Okay, good stuff there. All right, let's get to, you want to do player of the game, Hernan?
Sure.
Let's get to the player of the game. I'll adjust the camera and all that stuff in a second here. Player of the game brought to you, as always, by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Hernan Salas, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, again, lots to choose from the Edmonton Oilers. Honorable mention, obviously, Stuart Skinner for that big second period. I mean, he should be the guy, but I'm just looking at Zachary Martin Hyman. 2 goals, 1 assist. +5, boys. +5. 4 shots on net, 1 block, 10 hits. This guy's been unreal, and it's amazing. So, Stuart Skinner, honorable mention, very close, but Damon Bunting, player of the game for the agency. It has to be Zachary Martin Hyman. What a game by the guy. And also, kudos to Nuge as well. Those 3, I think, were the top dogs for sure. So, Zach Hyman gets it. Like, look at those stat lines, buddy. They're just unreal.
He's a dog. He's a dog, Joaquin.
And I love the it's not even, it's just Zach Hyman is an honest hockey player, right? Where he finishes checks, he takes hits to make plays. He's that dog. But it's subtly becomes the dark arts a little bit at the end of the game where Ben tries to, rub him out. And then Harley, who Zach Hyman has, we talked about the Damon Bunting Real Estate. He owns all the space around Harley with the amount of pressure he's putting on, finishing his hits. And you saw Harley take an undisciplined penalty at the end.
Yes.
Right? Completely undisciplined. I know the game's out of reach, but that's just another sign that the Oilers are getting to them, right? That's what you want. You want them unraveling. You want Harley thinking about, I got to go looking and seeing Zach Hyman, and if the puck gets dumped into my corner, I got to battle against this guy again. You just want to take the will and eventually the skill away from the opposing team, and they did it again in the third period.
Very well said, Joaquin. That is the Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game, Zach Hyman, brought to you courtesy of Hernan Salas. Damon Bunting, by the way, now with the agency. I'll get us into the turning point of the game, which is presented by Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy. As they like to say, Connor McDavid, well, he's got a team of specialists. You and I, well, we have a bag of frozen peas if we do it ourselves. So they want you to get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sports Medicine. Book your assessment today at www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. I had this marked down, and we have talked about it quite a bit, but no denying, like that goal at the end of the second period when the Stars were pressing, when the Stars were giving themselves some life and momentum. 18.8 seconds left. Connor McDavid takes advantage of the opportunity that's literally presented in front of himself and snipes the 3-1 goal. That is your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. McDavid says, thank you very much. I'll take that, and extends the lead. That's the other thing, too, guys, I like the Oilers have been able to do is extend leads now, right? Like we worry. I think the collective worry when they're up by 2. We've seen so many leads, not just Oiler leads, but teams in the postseason blow multi-goal leads that you sit on a 2-goal lead. There's a strong chance this playoffs that it's going to get erased, and they kept extending the lead. I think that's a nice sign of maturation as well, guys, from the Oilers when it comes to being able to do that.
And not getting down about it too, Tom.
Yes.
If they go down to the
Good
5-on-3, right? You would. That's going to give the other team a little bit of juice, but they stay. Even though that gave the Dallas Stars a lot of juice, killing that, right? So, but they stuck with it. That's just again the maturity of this team to be able to handle the ebbs and flows.
Yeah, it's different how the mentality changes. Where before it's like, oh, please don't go up 2 goals because the Oilers are just going to blow it. Now it's like,
isn't that crazy?
Now it's just like, even when Dallas had a period like they did in the second, you were kind of sitting there like, well, at least I was just kind of like, yeah, they're bringing it. They're going to have a pushback, but you're like almost calm. You're like, they'll be fine.
Yeah,
and they got one, sure. And the dagger's the late one in the second period for sure. But listen, the board's a hell of a coach. He is, but selling that kind of, I found it kind of a little weak sauce. And listen, of course he's going to say that. He's not going to torch his team, but like to be that confident with the media because you played a good 20 minutes is a little bizarre to me.
Tommy, did you see, like, being live at the game, what did you see from the Dallas Stars? I mean, was when you watch on TV, you can see certain body language and things, but you can see obviously a lot more from the press box there in between, TV timeouts, things like that. Did you see anything that stood out to you with the Dallas Stars at all?
I'll be honest with you, Joaquin. I am watching the Dallas Stars, and I see a team that doesn't have a lot of answers to the Oilers right now. That's how I'm viewing it, and I'm trying to take off my Oilers colored glasses, and I'm going, okay, what is Dallas doing? Does Dallas look like they're ready to start taking over this series? The answer to that, from what I see in my hockey spidey sense, is telling me is no. Like, the way the Oilers have been continually on the right side of the puck, making it difficult for Dallas, and they're very consistent, the Oilers are. I feel like, and what I'm seeing is an Oilers team just running over Dallas. And Reid makes a very good point, and I'm glad he did make this point. This series, it's not over.
Yeah.
The Oilers are only up 2-1. Dallas can get right back into it. Pete DeBoer's right. They can win next game, and then they can go home and win there. They've been very good on home ice. They're 7-2 now at home after that loss in game number 2. They haven't been as good on the road. I don't know why, but the Stars in the postseason on the road right now after today's loss are 2-5, 7-2 at home, like I mentioned. But honestly, Gager, when I'm watching the Dallas Stars, like, yes, I will 100% acknowledge that second period that they had. But they were on the PK for 4 minutes. Edmonton's power play sucked. Listen, you can make the argument that Dallas's PK kept them at bay. I'll give them credit for that. And I know that they they did outshoot the Oilers in that second period. Stu Skinner rose to the occasion, and I still feel like Edmonton bent but didn't break. And I'm like, I don't think the Dallas Stars have an answer right now. That can change in Game 4. I acknowledge this. But Gager, watching tonight, I'm just like, boy, I'd feel really good if I was on the Edmonton Oilers.
It's a weird pair of Oilers glasses, as you eloquently put it, to be taking on and off, right? Because we're so accustomed to analyzing how the Edmonton Oilers are playing, and mentioning there should be more emphasis in this or this, and now they're doing it. It's become increasingly difficult to critique the Edmonton Oilers game because it is quite solid. And then I start looking at the other team and saying, is that all they have? Right?
Yes,
and
exactly.
That's why I posed the question: can the Dallas Stars maintain a period like they had in the second for more than 20 minutes, or is that because there are times when teams seem to push, but that level of play is unsustainable. The Oilers are they've found a gear that's very at a very high level, but also seems sustainable throughout 60 minutes, which is it's got to be very concerning. It'll be interesting what DeBoer, like Nanso said, he's a great coach. He's going to push the right buttons with this team. So I believe it's Tuesday night. I really think that is going to be one of the best games of the entire playoffs up to this point with these two guys.
Again, guys, the only way I see this series turning, Ottinger's won. And yes, the Oilers got some breaks today. So did, Dallas got away with a few things as well, but
maybe,
absolutely. I hate using that terms, the puck luck and hockey gods, if they start getting some weird breaks that leads them to win, because I don't think the Oilers were opportunistic tonight. I think they earned everything they got, and it was a 6-1 win, and it was well deserved. I don't think what DeBoer is saying, well, they got a few bounces. Well, no, they worked for them. They created them. You look at some of the goals, and the Dallas Stars are they're not reading the play. They're one step behind. That's not being opportunity driven by the Edmonton Oilers. They're just jumping all over it, and they're playing good hockey. So for me, I know it's only 2-1 and there's a long ways to go, but the Oilers are the only team that can beat the Oilers. And in the last two series so far, well, especially the Vegas one, the last half of the LA one, they haven't done that. And I can't see them starting to do that now.
I'll cap this conversation on this topic with this, Joaquin and Hernan. If I was a player on the Dallas Stars and I'm losing this series 2-1, the way it has gone down, I would be sitting there going, I think we're in trouble. Because everything we try to do doesn't seem to be working. That's how I would feel if I was a player on the Dallas Stars.
And two of their major components are, I would say, Robertson's 60%, and without Rupe Hintz, those are massive holes in your lineup. You're just not going to fill, right? The only way is outworldly performances by either Heiskanen or Ottinger, right? To kind of. But I don't think that's sustainable. And that to beat this Edmonton Oilers team 3 more times is going before they have to win 2 more. That's going to be very hard.
Yep. But very well said. Okay. Final thoughts. Let's go here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. It's been a fun show. What a lovely afternoon here at the Ice House. Boys, you guys have been great back at ESD Global HQ. Gager, thank you so much for filling in for Cass, who we had a bonus visit from. Him and Mandy are on date night somewhere. They were at the game. I will get to a couple texts after we give our final thoughts going into game number 4, which is on Tuesday. Back to the 6 o'clock start. So we'll be on the air at 5 o'clock for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Nanso, your final thoughts and look ahead to Tuesday night's game 4.
Yeah, another good game for the Oilers outside of 20. Stuart Skinner, just continue to do what you're doing, man. He's been absolutely fantastic. Special teams are turning. I think Knobloch's out coaching DeBoer right now. And I think they're just rolling. I'm looking forward to Tuesday. They win that one, boys. It's only a matter of time. If they can't, then we do have a series on our hands, and it's the best of 3. So looking forward to Tuesday, boys. And the rest of this Sunday evening, and you guys have a great Sunday evening as well. It's been fun.
Yes, it has been. Senor Joaquin Gage.
It's not much. I guess I would say just for Cass and Mandy, Cass, behave yourself. You already got 3 kids. Let's. I know how these Sunday afternoons with a hockey game and a big win can get away from you. You don't. Your population is fine as where it's at.
Oh my! You, as always, one with the words, and that's why you're the best, Joaquin. I'll just say this: 3 straight games, the Oilers have power play goals. That's a great sign. The PK gets it done again. They win the special teams battle. That has been a concern and was for the majority of the postseason. I do like the way this is trending. I do like the way the Oilers are playing. More of what we saw today, please, and I think the Oilers are going to be punching their ticket to a second consecutive Stanley Cup final. But Reid's right. This Dallas Stars team is going to bring its best game and is going to try to do what it did in the second period for 60 minutes on Tuesday night. We'll see if the Oilers can counter and then some when they take on the Stars in game number 4. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. Big thank you to everybody who listened and watched. We appreciate that so very much. For Reid Wilkins, Matt Cassian, Joaquin Gage, and Hernan Salas, I'm Tom Gazzola saying enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. We will see you tomorrow. The boys get going on the Nielsen Show, 6 a.m. with Lieutenant Eric and YouTube Trev. From the Ice House, time for a beer. Ciao for now.